right below the orange soda shade so that the orange soda is just slightly peeking through, and this is when we're going to start building the shape. So I'm really trying to pinpoint this into the crease. We're going to start deepening everything up. I love this Smith brush if you guys saw my video on my favorite brushes, because as you guys can see, it's creating a pretty nice line here into the crease, almost like it's cutting the crease, but then the bristles that are below the point here really help blend that out. You can do like really good precision blending work into the crease. Also, what I did when I did this makeup look was I also mixed in a little bit of ABH Sienna. You guys haven't seen this eyeshadow in a hot minute. This one has a slightly lighter color than the rest, and I just kind of went over the edges with that. Kind of gives it like a nice sunsetty vibe. And then I'm taking the orange soda shade one more time, and I'm gonna run that along the edges of everything we just put down, just in case you covered up too much of the orange soda or you need a little bit of blending to happen. This is what I feel like really makes the difference for me when I'm doing a black smoky eye. Before, when I did a black smoky eye, what I would do is I would pack the black onto the lid at this point and then buff that out. But I find that the black fades into the other colors a lot better if you apply it in the crease first, blend it all out, and then pack it onto the lid. You see what I'm saying? So I'm using the Melt Cosmetics black eyeshadow. This is called Dark Matter. Super black. Love it. So I'm picking that up on a Smith 230 brush here. Same thing we did with the other colors, but this time keep it as low as possible. And it's okay if you get it a little bit onto your lid. Start on the outside and start blending it. Lay the brush on this outer part with the point going into the crease, and then I blend it through. Because I don't want the black to go up too high. That's the key, right? If I put the black eyeshadow too far up in my crease, that's when it's gonna start to look like too crazy. You know, that's what's scary if the black goes up too high. And don't pick up too much black eyeshadow. So I dipped my brush in, and I'm gonna make sure that I blend all of this out as much as I can before I apply more black eyeshadow. That's also key. There's a lot of rules and tricks to this to get it just right, but I look back at some of the smoky eyes I've done and I was like, whoa, I was really into them when I was 19, I think. Black smoky eyes. When I'd go to the club, the like underage clubs, you know, I was thotting and bopping out there wearing black smoky eyes on the regular. So it all looks kind of crazy right now, a little messy, right? Like, because it's all over our lid. It's gonna look fabulous once we're done. So first go at it. Now I'm gonna go back in again, deepening it up. Don't worry too much about the outside looking too perfect, because we're gonna clean that up. It's gonna be sharp by the time we're done. Sometimes you gotta go back in with a little bit of the sienna shade. Just kind of go over the block line that we made. There's a lot of blending that goes into this look, but it's totally worth it when you're done. Now that I've placed that, just going over with my transition shade brush, lightly grazing. Now, moving on to the lid, you really want the black to be just like really dark. A lot of eyeshadows, when you pack on black, don't look as deep. So what I like to do, I mean, even though this one's really, really dark, what I like to do is first apply a dark eyeshadow base or Inglot gel liner, which is really, really dark. This is probably the darkest product I have. So I take that on a concealer brush, and we're just gonna apply that over the lid. And this is what's gonna make it just deep and dark. Really work it into your lashes too over here. But make sure you apply most of it like towards the lash base, and then as you work up, you're gonna have less product on your brush, which is what you want. That way you could just kind of lightly fade it into the blending we already did. You don't wanna start with like the glob up here in the crease because it'll be too heavy. And I like to keep less cream products closer to my crease as well, because if you have hooded eyes or anything like that, like sometimes it could get a little too slippery. I don't find that that happens with Inglot gel liner, but if I were to use, like for example, a NYX jumbo eyeshadow base, that happens to me where it creases up. Then we're gonna pack on that same black eyeshadow with a little flat shader brush and tap off the eyeshadow just so nothing falls. Doesn't matter anyways, because I like to do my foundation afterwards, so if you have fallout, not a big deal. And then cover that whole lid space. Now it's cleanup time, so I'm taking a makeup wipe and cleaning up all the black under our eyes, and I just really sharpen up the edge here. So now I'm picking up a black pencil liner. This is Scandal Eyes Rimmel. And just want to really uncomfortably put that up in your waterline. Since the eyeshadow is so dark, you can't have any skin peeking through once you apply your lashes. So Oh, gotta get it all in between those lashes. Then I'm just gonna go ahead and apply some mascara. This is the Tarte Light Camera Flashes. Don't really need a lot, just a small coat here. And then we're just gonna go ahead and apply some falsies, and I have to use some semi-dramatic ones because the eyeshadow is so dark that you can't really see the lashes if I were to use, for example, Iconics by House of Lashes, which is usually my go-to. These are Camilla, and these are by Flutter Lashes. So you guys can see they're super thick, really fluttery lashes. They're pretty. All right, here we go. You can't even see them. Can you see them? Anybody see my lashes or no? Just know they're there in spirit. They're there. I'm gonna go ahead and prime my face using the Smashbox Primer Water. And then I'm gonna use my Armani Luminous Silk Foundation in 7.5 with my Beauty Blender. Now what I like to do is apply the MAC Next to Nothing face color, and this is in dark. They call this kind of like a sheer luminous balm. So I take about 2 pumps of that with my Beauty Blender. You can go over your whole face is what I usually do, but I start where I want it to be the most dewy, which is over here in this area of the face. And it does have a little coverage when you apply it on top of a more heavy coverage foundation, but by itself didn't really cover anything. It's not supposed to, that's not what it's meant to do. I apply a little bit of this all over my foundation, and I look so luminous when I took photos, just in person too. It looked really nice. I was impressed, which I'm happy because when I did it, when I wore it without anything else, just the regular balm, I was like, oh man, thought I was gonna love this product. The colors are a little bit warm. I'm kind of in between because of the undertones of all the colors. This is okay for me now because I'm a little bit tan right now, but it still did make me pretty warm. But once I apply like my concealer and everything, you can't really tell. I'm gonna use the NARS Creamy Concealer in Biscuit. This is kind of like a color correcting concealer right here. So I'm applying this first, just a little bit, or a lot of it. Blend that in. Concealer just makes this smoky eye look so much cleaner. This is why you want to do your smoky eye first and then do everything else, because it can get super messy, and if you try to do it before, your under eyes may look really dark. And then to brighten all of that up, I'm going to go over that with medium in Becca Aqua Luminous concealer, and also use that to really sharpen up that part of the look. I'm sorry if I seem a little out of it. Like, I swear every single time I work out legs, I just feel so unable to speak. Since we're here, might as well just kind of hit it one time down the nose. You know what the hell, let's just come on, hit it over here. This is like a really extreme makeup look, so when you highlight and everything, it looks really nice. And just go ahead and blend that all out. So when you make this line of concealer, make sure you flip your Beauty Blender around and buff that line out after the eyeshadow so you don't have like this white line across your temple. So now I'm gonna go ahead and set my concealer using the RCMA powder, and this is the Morphe E27 brush. I'm just gonna set this under eye part and then right around my nose area on the apples of my cheeks. I'm gonna go ahead and finish the eyes because they look super top heavy right now, and I wanna give you guys the finished look of the eyes. So we're gonna take this Dose of Colors pencil brush, and I'm gonna go into Sienna, which is that reddish shade, and I'm gonna start smoking out the lower lash line. Starting with most of the product on the outer part, connecting it to the black up here, and then smoking it inwards. Bringing that pretty low because once we put the black liner on the lower lash line, everything kind of disappears a little bit. So apply it and then blend it all out with a semi-clean blending brush. Whatever you use for your transition shade, you could use to blend out this lower lash part. So I'm gonna apply a little bit more on the outer part of the eye here. It's where the black will go down the lowest. Next, we're gonna take the black liner that we used in our waterline, and we're gonna apply that in the waterline on our lower lash line and also smoke it out pretty heavy on the outer part. This is really gonna connect the top and the bottom. So I'm just building it up on this outer part first. And then as I go to the inner corner of the eye, I kind of make sure it only goes in the waterline over here. If I make it too thick all the way in, it may close off my eyes a little too much. And then this gives it more of like a catty look. Then I take this tiny little Morphe E36 brush with a little bit of black eyeshadow, and I'm gonna smoke that out and just kind of set it. So I barely dipped my brush into the eyeshadow, like just tiny bit, just enough so I could smoke everything out. So now we have the black under the eye, really balances out the top of our eyes so we don't look like super crazy. And if you need to go back in with a little bit of sienna to just clean up those edges, you can. I'm gonna go ahead and pick up my bronzer. This is the Hoola by Benefit. This is a Japanesque brush. I'm going to lightly bronze the cheekbones and the forehead. For me with the Smokey eye, I like to do more of just bronzer, no blush really, because I feel like the eye is already so extreme. I mean, at least for me and what I got going on, that I like to just apply bronzer. I'm also gonna take a little bit of that Hoola bronzer on a flat brush and contour the tip of the nose here. And then I'm gonna go in with this little foundation brush, kind of just lightly tap over the contour so it doesn't look as harsh. I'm gonna set my face with the Smashbox Photo Primer Water. And I like to do that before I apply a little bit of highlight because it makes my highlight pop a little bit more. I'm so sore right now that when I move backwards, my whole stomach is just like... And for the highlight, I'm gonna be using Gilded Honey by Laura Geller on the Morphe brush. Just kind of give it a look to the side and apply that on the top of the cheekbones to keep it the bow. A little bit on the chin and then a little bit on the tip of the nose and up here on the bridge. You can apply blush if you want to. I don't want to, so I'm not going to. And I think that's it besides lips. Let me figure out what lip color I'm gonna do. So I don't really want too much of a lip color. I'm just gonna take Oak by MAC and just lightly run that over the lips. Kind of all over. Did you guys notice I just like have a beauty mark all of a sudden? Just did it real quick. Just kind of like a wash of this color over the lips. All right, so that's it for this dramatic smoky eye. So I hope you guys picked up a few tips and tricks on how to get the black to gradiate a little bit easier with the rest of the colors up into the brow bone. I know putting the black in the crease really helped me when I first picked up that tip. I hope you guys enjoyed. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye. Sometimes you have to appreciate the blend. Little town full of little people waking up to say bonjour.